It's another absolutely wild day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Magic is on the verge of a massive market collapse, and it's being caused by the new Lord of the Rings set. It's having an unprecedented effect on the game, unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. This time we're talking about the market effect of Lord of the Rings and the market crash that we are right on the cusp of. This is literally unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of the game because Lord of the Rings is literally having an effect unlike anything that we have seen up until this point. And part of that is based on the very nature of the set, and there's a couple of different aspects in that regard. One of the things I mean by that is the price point of the set. This is a more expensive than regular set, and that plays in to market dynamics in a big way. But another way this is different than a lot of things we've seen in the past is this is the first Universes Beyond product that has really caught fire. Like we've seen in the past, sure, you had a bunch of people getting worked up about The Walking Dead. We've heard a little bit of woo about the Doctor Who stuff that's coming down the line, and the Warhammer 40k stuff did get a very, very warm reception. It basically sold out multiple iterations and people are still clamoring around to grab it. So that was a success, but nothing on the level of this Lord of the Rings stuff. And that does also come down to the fact that this is the first Universe Beyond that's been given the full service where you get all of the different products. In fact, it's been given 2 different sets of collector boosters, and that ties into all the craziness that we're going to see as well. So you have a situation where it's going to cost a lot. The buy-in to the Lord of the Rings is a lot, but the number of people who are willing to buy into it are right up there as well, because this set is coming on the heels of one of the biggest failures in Magic's history, which also adds to this crazy maelstrom of insanity, because Magic players, at least a portion of us, have addictive personalities. I know I do, so there's this itch to crack the boosters, to chase the good cards, to get the big hits, to have the good times, right? And so that does factor in. Aftermath comes along, and it bombed horribly because everybody could see, wait a minute, you just sliced off part of the previous set and you're selling it to us now. No, I'm not buying it. And that was roundly rejected, right? Sure, some people snagged up a bit here or there, but ultimately the market said, not interested. Not the way it did the 30th anniversary, but the next closest thing you can get. A gigantic not interested was said, and Aftermath was relegated to the gutters of history. But now you have the Lord of the Rings, right? People have all that money they didn't spend on Aftermath. And now they're like, oh, I need to get the packs. I need the good times. So you have a surge of interest from Magic players. But then on top of that, you have a surge of interest from Lord of the Rings players. Make no mistake, you might not see it yourself, but Universes Beyond does work to bring new people into Magic. I watched it happen with the Warhammer decks. That stuff did bring new people into Magic. Every single Universes Beyond will bring in people from outside who are interested in that property. They'll be like, you know what? I always wanted to try out Magic, but there was never enough to get me into it. This is what's going to make me grab a deck and play with my friends. So Lord of the Rings is much bigger than that, right? First of all, you have the amazing overlap of fantasy. So you're going to have more people who are like, whoa, wait, there's this card game Magic and they have Lord of the Rings cards? I didn't even know it existed. And then they're going to try it and they're going to be like, yo, this is awesome, because Magic is pretty much the best game around, right? At least when it comes to card games and maybe even all physical games. But clearly, I'm pretty biased, right? So you have a situation where these people are going to come in and be like, yeah, I'm on board. And then you're going to have the Lord of the Ring collectors who just want the Lord of the Rings cards. Then you're going to have old Magic players who are like, oh yeah, bro, I'm back in for Lord of the Rings. Let's do it, right? Like there's a bunch of awesome stuff in this set, but also the price tag attached to it is super, super hefty. And then on top of all these people that we've got layered in there, normal Magic players, people who are going to get into Magic, sports card collectors have also started to turn an eye over to the Magic markets and Lord of the Rings specifically, and they've started to buy up massive amounts of stuff. Like, we live in an era now where back in the day you'd have a pre-release and it would be like, okay, you can have 6 booster packs and the set's coming out in like a week or two, sometimes even like a month later, depending on how they did it, if you go back far enough. But nowadays, it's like before the pre-release even happens, you can buy these like individual packs on websites where people like auction opening them, so you can see your packs opened, have them sent out to you, and people are paying 2 to 3 times the cost of a collector booster. So for one individual Lord of the Ring collector booster, people are paying sometimes $100 a pop, and we're talking American prices. Like, you have to give it to Wizards of the Coast. They've been trying to find every different way to monetize things, and they've succeeded really well with this Lord of the Rings situation, where there's a whole bunch of different points that we're going to go over that layer into this massive success from Wizards' standpoint. This is going to be viewed as a massive success to be emulated. But the whip song, basically the markets out there are like Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction. Like it's going pretty wild. One of the craziest things that I've seen in terms of the way the prices are going is the One Ring. Okay, so the One Ring, most of the conversation surrounding it in recent times has been either about the big bounty or fakes of it being found, right? Those are the 2 categories. Either like, wow, it's a crazy amount of money, or did you hear Billy McGee got it? Billy McGee didn't get it, trust me. So you have a scenario where that's most of the conversation. But underneath it all, there have been people who have just been playing Magic. They've just been testing stuff out, and lo and behold, they've realized that the One Ring is actually incredibly strong. It's almost like some people realized that and knew it way back months and months ago. It's almost like somebody right here made a video that said, oh, the One Ring is very broken. I love the fact that when I'm right, I can just point and go, look, I told you guys. But anyways, the One Ring is so incredibly powerful that it is doing something I didn't think was possible. Every time Wizards of the Coast releases a bundle, you get a bunch of booster packs in it, and then you get a worthless promo. They always pick some card to put in there that is a low-level rare that nobody's chasing, nobody cares about. Colossification, ring a bell? Do you even know what that card is? That's a good sign, right? So the bundle cards are always bulk rares done with a different treatment and in foil. It's a neat little include for somebody who just gets a bundle. It's a fun little toss-in, but they never matter financially. This situation is one where they've included the One Ring and 3 other promos inside the bundle. So this is a bundle promo, and yet even that is not enough to stop the price of the One Ring from rocketing upwards. People, I guess, are finally realizing, hey, wait a minute, this thing will protect me when it comes out. I can tap it to draw a bunch of cards, and there's ways to mitigate its downside. Like, if you can use it the turn it comes out, oh, guess what? I don't have to worry about any of the damage. Also, since it's legendary, you can literally just, bam, slap another one down on the board. So Wizards of the Coast has like cracked the code in terms of they created a mythic that is so powerful and so desirable that even by including it in the bundle and coming with 3 more promos, that's not enough to stop the price from hurtling into the stratosphere when we're right on the edge of a massive collapse. The prices that people want for these Lord of the Rings cards aren't sustainable. Do you know how I know that? On top of the bundles behaving oddly, stores are behaving oddly. We're in this weird game of chicken right now where game stores are saying, oh yeah, we're selling Lord of the Rings singles, totally. Buying them, maybe talk to us later. We're not picking singles up right now. That's not the norm. Normally what will happen is there will be like, yes, please keep them coming in because there's a constant influx and outflux, right? People are bringing cards in, getting them out of there. But in this situation, so many people have bought so much Lord of the Rings, chasing after the One Ring and sitting on stuff that the stores are going, well, no, we don't want to take these in because the stores are expecting a major crash. And who knows how the card market works the best? The stores, because their livelihoods depend on it. Like, genuinely, I was floored at how little Lord of the Rings is being taken in by stores. I mean, obviously, they're moving everything they can outwards. Right now, it feels like, could be wrong about this, but it feels like this is going to be the best time to unload most Lord of the Rings cards. There's some hype around everything. Now remember, I'm not the market master. Go talk to your finance masters before you really make your decisions. But the hype is so insane right now, and Wizards has done so many little side things. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you buy the specific commander decks, you get a little sample collector booster. Now, we've talked before about how people were upset you couldn't get the One Ring in it and how they thought you could maybe, but there is a little bit of language on the box apparently down in tiny little lettering that says that you can't. But what you can get in them is extended foils. Now, if you didn't know, the extended foils that come in these sample collector packs, that's the only place to get them. So Wizards has made extended foil versions that you can literally only acquire if you buy a commander deck, open up that booster pack, which only has 2 cards, and it's in there. And as a result, we have some of these cards at basically set of prices of $500, right? And so you have that, you have the serialized ring, where the most recent serialized ring sale I saw was for $6,000. So Wizards is going with all of these different angles to the point where, like, there's so much money being pumped into Lord of the Rings right now that we've lost touch with reality. Every single Nazgul card is over $10 on the secondary market right now. These are uncommons, and you can play with any of the 9 variations. Wizards has worked every possible angle with this, including some I couldn't conceive of, like the foil extended in the collector's packs. And what this does is this does create an initial frenzy where we're all going crazy. And it literally did draw the eye of things like the sports market. But then you have the problem where now you've got all these mass openings, mass openings, mass openings. And there is going to be a push to dump all of that, right? It's just going to hit the markets all at once as everybody tries, and it's going to be a race to the bottom. And that is part of the reason that the game stores have full on stepped back. They can see how much of this product is flying. And the thing about this is we have 2 different situations going on at once. You have people who understand what's going on with the finance markets going, whoa, this is insane. Like, this is nuts. Take a step back. This is crazy. And then you have a bunch of people piling in going, where's that One Ring? I want that One Ring. This is the most lottery-esque aspect there's ever been to a Magic set. And Wizards is creating secondary market values that are the equivalent of cards that have been around for 30 years and are impossibly hard to get. So the lure of trying to repeat this is going to be impossible, but this is going to crater. This is going to crater the market, and this is going to have a big impact on Commander Masters as well, right? Wizards is hoping to lead into these huge sales for Commander Masters, and with the amount of money that's being pulled out through Lord of the Rings, like, I don't think that everybody realizes what's going on, but with 30th anniversary having flopped as hard as it did, Wizards of the Coast need to make up for that money. They told their shareholders, yo, we're going to make a ton of bank off of this, and then it flopped horribly. So that means they got to push the prices of everything up across the year. Now, Lord of the Rings had its price pushed up, and it's selling banger. But the thing is, everything else has to sell banger. So if Commander Masters flops, that means that later on down the road, we're going to see more price increases this year. We're living in the most insane timeline where Wizards is printing money, but that money, like, it's like a gold rush. It's these serialized rings, they're the hotness now. But how long is that going to last? What's the next hype train going to be? Nobody's talking about the Dominaria 500 out of 500s anymore. Nobody cares about those. People don't even really care about the special Praetors that they did with their own special art that were in the Phyrexia set. So it's this insane hype train. The market is going to tank hard. I have never seen a game of chicken on this level. And Wizards of the Coast, the worst part to me is that Wizards is going to view this as a massive success, and they're going to push more and more into Universes Beyond, and they're going to neglect their main properties more and more, which for me is a big frustration because I love Magic. In fact, I'm working on an old school lore video right now about the origins of Dominaria that'll be coming out in a couple days over on my other channel, Fantasy Geographic, if you want to check that out. And speaking of love and magic, since, you know what, we've been talking about a bunch of downer stuff here, let's leave it on a more positive note. If you want to hear me talk happily about old school Magic cards or other Magic cards in general, you can check out my other channel, Hatcher. I'll leave a link here at the end to an opening of a 1995 brand new Ice Age deck where I go through card by card, talk about the history of the game, tell you stories for real. If you've ever wondered, why does this grumpy Gus have anything to do with Magic? head on over there and you'll find out, yo, he actually loves the game. I want to play Magic with you guys for the rest of my life. I want the game to last forever. Watching these insane whipsaw markets and wizards manipulate and everything, it makes me feel uncomfortable about the long-term health of the game. So, thanks for stopping by to hear me out. Big shout out to all my patrons, and enjoy the fact that this is now part of the Hatcher Entertainment Network.
You're watching the hen, laying only the finest of entertainment eggs.
But go!